What's happening, people? Thank you for tuning in for another beer review. It's Beer Monster O'Clock. Bosh. This one should be interesting because I'm going to be reviewing a lager from Nigeria, and I've never tried a lager from Nigeria, nor did I even know that they even had a lager in Nigeria. Can't say I'm an expert on Nigerian beer, that's for sure. But yeah, there we have it. We have found a Nigerian lager. And where did I find it? Was it Beers of Europe? No. Home Bargains. Home Bargains. I said Nigerian lagers. Two of them, actually. And this is the first one I'm going to review. The other one's called Star, which will be coming up in the next few days. This one's called Gulder. Gulder the Ultimate. Talk about big up your beer. Gulder the Ultimate. You got some geezer on there with an old sort of night mask on. And this is the first ever Nigerian beer to be brewed in a brown bottle. Back in the 70s, I think they started doing it. I believe this has been in the UK some time back. And it's sort of been re-released sort of thing. I think there was some sort of law that prevented them from selling it, transporting it over anymore. So they had to stop selling it, and they brought it back. They must have found a loophole or whatever. Yeah, I did get it from Home Bargains, and it cost me £1.59. And it's a 600ml bottle, which normally you get like 660, didn't you? Or like 500ml. So that's different. I've not come across a 600ml bottle before, but it looks like a 660 to me, the size of the thing. So it's strange. The glass must be quite thick or something. But yeah, it's a nice brown bottle. It's 5.2%. So that's quite a strong one. Let's crack her open. I'm quite excited to try this. I've really got no idea what it's going to be like. I think the only Nigerian beer I've ever had is the Nigerian foreign extra stout when I first ever started, which I do want to try again at some point, because I used to really not get along with stouts, and I've actually grown to quite like them. Anyway, let's chuck her in the glass and see what she's all about, shall we? And £1.59 for a 600ml bottle. If it's any good, that's not a bad price, is it, in the old Home Bargains? Considering it's come from bloody Nigeria. I'm pretty sure it's brewed in Nigeria as well. So that's kind of a mad one. But I think Heineken, I believe that Heineken own all the breweries in Nigeria. So make of that what you will. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm sure I heard something about Nigeria owning all the breweries out there. We got a beverage in the glass. It actually looks quite nice. Small little bubbles in it, which they say is a sign of quality in your beer. Smaller the bubble, better the quality, apparently. Whether it's true or not, I think sometimes it is, but not always. Yeah, we have a nice sort of slightly creamy foamy head. There's a slight sort of creamy vibe about it. It's a nice sort of golden colour. One thing I did notice about this beer as well is the bottle. It doesn't really, I don't really know if it shows up on camera, but it's really like scratched up in that. You've got the lines up there at the top. There's some down the bottle, and there's just lots of scratches, and the label's not even on straight, and they're all like that, which I found really strange. I know what them scratches are about. That's because they recycle the bottles. They do that in Germany as well, so you always get them lines there. But yeah, it really looks like it's been thrown about and all that a lot, and somehow not smashed. But all the bottles just had that sort of vibe about them. Also with the Star, the other Nigerian beer, just the bottles look proper rough, like they've been proper mashed up. Very strange. I don't know whether they're like that in all the Home Bargains, but every single bottle of this and the other Nigerian beer, the bottles just are so scratched up in that. Anyway, let's check out the aromas of this Nigerian lager. What's it called again? Gulder the Ultimate. That is quite a strong name for a lager, that, isn't it? Let's hope it is the ultimate lager. A little sort of hidden gem right the way over in Africa. It smells like sweet malts. Grassy. There's a weird, like, kind of, how do you explain that? Almost like if you're making a vegetable stew and you overcook all the veg. It's got that kind of weird starchy vegetable aroma. Whether that's coming from the water or what, I don't know. It's an unusual aroma in there. Yeah, getting a bit of a citrus, like caramel as well. I don't think it smells that bad. It's different. But there is, I say, that kind of stewed vegetable sort of smell to it. And I've got a feeling it's going to be bitter as well. I don't know what's telling me that, but there's just something about the aroma that's making me think it's going to have quite a bitterness to this beer. I could be wrong. I mean, you can't smell bitterness, really, can you? I don't know, but let's find out. Let's chuck it down a big fat neck and see if I like it and see if I think you should head down to Home Bargains and pick up some of these beers or not. Anyway, cheers, everybody. Bosh. If you're from Nigeria, I think they talk English as well, so cheers, everybody. Bosh. Let's see if I think it's worth a buy. Oh. That's very unusual. That's my first impressions. Unusual. And I was definitely right about that. Bitterness, smelling bitterness. It's a very bitter lager for me. It's not like a really strong bitterness, but it sort of lingers throughout the whole taste. And then just carries on lingering. Strange. I don't think I've come across that kind of linger before. And I'm not sure if I like it or not. It's just different, you know. I think I'm going to have a bit more of this one to sort of... I think it could go either way. Like, I could either sort of grow to like it or hate it. Interesting. Very interesting, anyway. And it's nice when something's a little bit different, isn't it? I think I like it. I do think I like it, but I don't know. That bitterness is really odd. That's just the one thing I can't get my head around. I've not come across a bitterness like that. And I'm also struggling to explain it. But yeah, initially you're getting a little bit of sweet malt. Little bit bland on the beginning, to be fair. I'm going to go with a sort of light to medium bodied to the mouthfeel. And then you just get this bitterness, it just takes over. It's a really long lasting, quite strong, but not like massively strong. But there's something quite intense about that bitterness. And I just can't quite suss out what it is. I'm going to go again. It's like a really quite intense linger. It's kind of leafy, like, is that the word? Almost strange, like, you know when you get a beer that's skunked? It's like a skunky, leafy kind of bitterness that I just cannot make up my mind if I like it or not. But I can't dislike it, otherwise I think I would have come across that by now. It's just very strange and different. But it's a really standout feature for me because I've not had that in a lager before. The way it just kind of... It's not as intense as like a Pilsner or Quell bitterness, but it's a really slow, drawn out, long, leafy, skunky, unusual bitterness. We're also getting just a touch of like some lemon, or like citrusy lemon in here as well. It's a very interesting beer. Very, very interesting. So for that reason alone, I would say it's worth a buy, because not only you can say I've tried a Nigerian lager, whether you like it or not, for £1.59, you can say you've tried a Nigerian lager. That opportunity might not come up again, whether you like it or not. It's a big bottle of lager that's come from Nigeria for £1.59. And I do think there's going to be people that really dislike this, but I also think there's going to be people that enjoy that bitterness. I think it's going to be a bit of a Marmite lager, but I can't quite decide what side of the fence I'm on, because, you know, perhaps I'd need to have a few bottles of it to decide. I've only got the one, but there's a nice crisp dryness before that bitterness sets in. I mean, I guess you could say it's not the most refreshing lager in the world. It's not the most flavoursome, but there's just that bitterness. I think I like it. And I'm still not sure. It's one of the strangest lager reviews I've done. And it's just that it's so different. It's not massive on flavour. It's not, like I say, you're getting a bit of a citrus. You're getting a bit of sweetness from the malts. But it's the bitterness that is definitely the star of the show. But that star of the show for some people is going to be the reason why they hate it. Because it's such a long, you know, unusual bitterness. That, like I say, I've described it as leafy and skunky. Perhaps a bit like vegetable, like I said, stewed vegetable like. But is that a good thing? I don't know. But I'm drinking it and I'm enjoying it, you know? But I could totally understand people in the comments saying, that beer's disgusting, mate. How could you like that? But I could also understand people saying, oh yeah, I love that beer, Ad. It's a very strange taste, and I don't think everybody's going to like that strange taste, which is why I call it a Marmite beer. But I've got to say, I quite like it. I don't think it would be a good one for sessioning. I reckon you would get a little bit sick of that bitterness, because it, like I say, it just got such a long lasting process to that bitterness. But I like it. But then I really do like bitter beers, so it's a bit of me in that sense. Yeah, I like it, but I couldn't session it. I'll just have a couple of them, I reckon. And yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I think it's quite nice. Again, I'll be really interested to know your thoughts on this beer, if you've tried it, or whether you like it or not. But I like it, but I find it hard to score. So I'm going to go with what I give like an average sort of beer, a 7. I'm actually going to go 7.5, you know. I like that bitterness, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's a fantastic lager. It's a little bit, it's all about that bitterness, and there ain't much else. But just because of the amount I'm enjoying that aftertaste, I'll go 7.5. But again, that could change. It's a very unusual beer, and it's one that I'm glad I tried. So I'm going to say it's worth a buy. But I can't promise you're going to like it. It's one of them sort of ones. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Smash that like button if you've enjoyed watching me review this Nigerian lager. As I say, I'm very interested in your thoughts in the comments on this one in particular. And till the next one, guys. Bye-bye, darlings.